Valerie, I've known you for a few years now in your different roles, so it feels really special for me to come here at Janaya today as the Aboriginal team leader and yourself as the exec officer. So thank you for having us here.
Thanks for coming. I was born in Argentina, so I'm a first generation migrant to this country, but I've raised my children and my grandchildren on direct land, so I'm very fortunate that, you know, for Aboriginal people sharing their culture and their wisdom and this land with us.
I know Janaya plays a significant role in the community services sector when we talk about Blacktown LGA. You do a range of programs for families. What are some of the support that you provide to families in addressing the challenges that they sometimes may experience raising and caring for children whilst also managing family life?
I think one of the really important things that Janaya offers is that we're very family-led, and that the approach that we take working with families is honouring their wisdom, their culture, their knowledge. The way that we offer support is by being a partner with families. They lead the journey, they set the goals, they set the pace, and then Janaya very respectfully with our team, we've got a very multiculturally and First Nations diverse team. So I think we bring that experience as well as our professional experience to that partnership.
I think I like also that they can vote. I call it voting with your feet. So sometimes we get a knock at the door and there's walking because they've heard good things. And I think that's great feedback too, to know that there's people out there talking about their experiences to their family.
Excellent.
And Valerie mentioned the family leading the way. That's another thing that works, is that they are the decision makers. And we listen. And listening is something, you know, that's so important, and acknowledging their journey. And it's a respectful way to work here. And I like that.
Talking about families, I know Janaya does a lot of parenting programs as well. Is there a particular story or something that you'd like to share in terms of outcomes from any of your parenting programs?
I think one of the outcomes across the board for all the parenting programs that we see is actually the building of social capital. So parents come and they have a desire to build their parenting knowledge, and then they leave with friendships. They leave with a network,
Beautiful.
an informal network of other parents who are also on a journey of reflection and self-development and growth, and they support each other through the challenging times, and also they celebrate each other's wins, and that continues long after the parenting course is over.
That's amazing, the social connection.
Yes,
and I think the support with friendship is powerful, because they get to bounce off each other when they've left here. They can say, oh, remember that, when they see things happening. Because they don't stop because the parenting course was completed. So what grows is their ability to be able to want to make a difference for their children and their families.
So we provide both outreach and in-centre parenting programs. And also they're targeted at different age groups. So we cover parenting programs for young children and focus on bonding and attachment and developmental milestones and responding to that, all the way through to tuning into teens, where parenting and family changes when we're parenting, soon to be young adults, and the dynamic changes. And another program that Janaya offers that I think is quite unique is the Steps to Safer Parenting, which is the child protection program.
I know there are a number of programs that you offer for children and young people as well. I'm particularly interested to find out a bit more about the, it's called the Fantastic...
Feeling Fantastic.
Feeling Fantastic, that's right. Thank you, Valerie. Could you share a bit more about that program?
Yeah, so Feeling Fantastic is a program that we deliver in schools. They're a school-based program, and it's a really great program because it helps young people to understand that there are no good feelings or bad feelings.
I work very closely with
Danielle,
and Meg.
yes,
And lovely to hear.
We work closely with Danielle and her team as well.
Talking about the local Aboriginal communities, are there any programs that Janae is currently doing that involves local Aboriginal communities?
There is, and that's the Aboriginal Youth Program that we have a trainee youth worker here, and he's leading it, and it's for youth that Aboriginal youth that have been identified or self-referred to attend like cultural talks, cultural workshops that Marikai leads, and the children share with him because they like him and he has a good rapport with them.
I think that youth cultural program that we run, it's also in partnership with Blacktown Police. Yeah, so the Blacktown ACLO co-facilitates the program.
Yeah.
That's really good. I mean, as I was saying to you earlier, this was the first time I attended Marana's Night of Ball, and it was a magical evening for me. Meeting Uncle Greg, meeting Bob Leslie, meeting, Diana, everyone. Sigrid, we worked with Sigrid for many years now, but just spending a bit of time. It was
Well, they've all
wonderful.
been around a long time.
Yes, absolutely.
They're still standing.
Yes, strong and, holding the rich culture.
And the other program I just wanted to mention was we've just, last week we delivered a Keep the Fire Burning family camp, and that was in partnership with Sydney Region Aboriginal Corporation, who another incredible organisation and a wonderful partner to Janaea. So we took 17 families. It was 67 individuals from, I think the youngest was like a 3-month-old baby.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Off to Yarramundi for a 3-day camp. And it was an incredibly beautiful bonding experience for families who haven't been on a family holiday in either numerous years or ever.
Janae's been a member of LEAD for a number of years now, so we feel really connected there. And what has been your experience, Valerie and Christine, your experience as a member of LEAD?
The fact that you listen and you and your team, I think you intentionally create relationships with your members. So we feel heard and understood, which means that sometimes you can preempt our needs quite well, and you understand the changing nature of the sector, so that might be grappling with something internally, and then the next thing we read your newsletter or something comes up and you're like, yes. That's exactly what we were, thank you.
Thank you.
So that, so that's really special. I think also what you provide for your members as an add-on. So I know at Janaea, the TEI orientation training is something that we tap into a lot as a small organisation. In this sector, we have turnover of staff and workforce, and so continually training and onboarding staff and trying to unpack what is TEI, what is targeted earlier intervention. And so that training that you provide is really, really beneficial for us.
That I just used that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So I am new into the organisation, and that was one of my first platforms to access, was that online learning. So that was really good.
Oh, fantastic.
And I, have to take my hat off. It was very succinct.
Excellent.
And the backup you had, like the materials, the resources that backed up the work on the platform, was good too. I enjoyed doing that.
As a sector, we all understand how our practitioners, the leaders, the execs, are quite resource poor, time poor, but even despite that, you always try and squeeze in some time and attend the Blacktown Link Network, as well as Leeds Community of Practice that's about bringing consistency in the sector. So firstly, thank you for doing that. And as you know, the Blacktown Link Network, it's early days, but we're trying to bring the sector together along with health, education, housing. How has your experience been as a part of that so far in the journey?
Yeah, look, I'm a huge supporter of the Linker Network philosophy. We at Genea, we absolutely adopt the no wrong door philosophy, and we see our roles as connectors. If somebody, Genea cannot, doesn't ever pretend to, and knows that we cannot be everything to everybody. And we also know that, and we respect that it takes a lot of courage to ask for help.
If I'm remembering this correctly, I think you were one of the first execs who invited a board member to the community of practice. Well done. Well done. And that shows your leadership.
Yes.
Oh, that just shows your leadership and how you are a collaborator. Because not always those links are joined, and you see what we're trying to do there is to help the sector, right from the board to exec to the frontline workers, practitioners have a understanding. Policies are something that shouldn't just be sitting on the shelf. They need to be understood by each and every member of the organization, and that's when you can implement it. So you recognizing that's been wonderful. I don't know how time flies when you have these conversations. And
Professional conversations are as important as the professional work.
very well said. Yes, yes.
Because you
Use it as a tagline.
Yes,
Christine.
tag that.
Thank you to both of you. It's been wonderful, and can't thank you enough for the work that Genea does in supporting our local families.